Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English, and this, what you see in front of you, is Daily Flash! Yeah, buddy! Love this shit. This is halfway through the week. We love it. Sweet baby James, he, of course, he's the guy who talks to you, right?
I love James.
James, we love you, buddy.
Oh, most definitely. Hey, I'm excited about today because I have a great question, and you guys, you gotta chime in. If Hollywood made a movie about your life, which actor would you want to play you and why? I already said LL Cool J for me.
Matter of fact, that's what we
think.
used to call you, LL Cool James, for the longest time. I can totally see that.
But you know who's a great actor? Matt.
Steve Buscemi.
Tell them where they can go comment about this question.
On the street.
They can head to dailyflashshow.com where they can check out all of our stuff, all of our social media outlets. Like, subscribe, share, do all that. Send us your response, flash@dailyflashshow.com. My pick would be Ron Livingston from Office Space.
Oh, yes!
I get that all the time.
100%. Yeah. Totally get it.
And the late Burt Reynolds.
Oh, yeah.
Could've
I mean,
done
that would be.
too, right?
Oh, yeah, that would be a good one too.
All right, I was talking, rambling on. I couldn't hear what was going on. So, who
I
who'd
don't
you pick?
know. I can't even think of
Well,
you guys think of somebody for me. I can't think of
Here's the
anybody.
thing: when you pick a woman, though, it's totally
It's tough.
different.
I think with guys it's different. Yes.
Because we think, and all of us, we chose people who we think we look like. But then
Yes.
you want somebody who grabs the essence of it. So it's going to be interesting. I'll have somebody right now. That Jennifer Lawrence is my favorite actress going on right now, and so. That's who I say plays you.
I'll go Jennifer
Because she goes naked on the beach in that movie.
Okay, well there you go. That's an
That's
easy
why.
one.
Which movie?
But I think it's hard with women too because if you think about it, it's like, do you want somebody older or younger or who? It's,
Right.
For guys, I feel like it's super generic.
anybody.
You guys can pick anybody.
Somebody who looks
It'd be
like them.
cool.
Right.
So Gen Z is gravitating towards some interesting new hobbies, and they're calling it the grandma hobby trend.
Okay. Now I think grandma hobbies is like knitting.
Exactly.
Oh, that's what it is?
There is a huge spike in people who are doing crafts. They're doing needlepoint, knitting, cross-stitch, quilting, scrapbooking, even book clubs. These are all hobbies they're gravitating toward to get away from their phone and screen time. And they're creating clubs. They say 86% of Gen Z admit they're crafters. They love to craft.
That's
doing something tactile.
I'm wondering if it's cyclical, meaning the generation before them was so much into that they want to rebel back and they're like go back to the simple stuff, which kind of gives me a little hope for the future, that sort of thing. But it's nice to see this sort of thing because it's actually you're creating something and you're doing something, and it's something you can touch and feel instead of digitally, where we see now a little bit of our generation and the millennials as well.
If you live in like a commuter city, I can see it's easy to like knit or do something like that while you're on the train or the subway, right, or on the bus. And then with watercolor or book clubs. Book clubs apparently are getting they're having a huge comeback. And Usha Vance, the current second lady in office, has created this book club to encourage kids to read. And she's offering certain kids a chance to come to Washington, D.C. to share their favorite books with them. TikTok has got a number of book club folks on there that are promoting book clubs. But the watercolor, the painting, the scrapbooking, needlepoint, like who would have thought
I would never thought
needlepoint?
It's nice to see that, really is. And maybe it might be down to when you come to needlepoint, you can actually make clothes and that sort of thing. And getting back to when the mushroom people take over, we have to have some kind of skill, right?
That's true.
And you talk about the book club. Pizza Hut, will you please make that book thing that you have when you get free? Book it. Make it for adults too.
What's book it?
Oh my gosh, it's school.
Oh wow! You'd get a little button, and you had to read. I think it was 6 books in a certain amount of time. And every time you read a book, you tell your teacher. They'd put a sticker on your button, and then you would go to Pizza Hut. In the old school Pizza Huts, right? And you get your own personal pan pizza.
No way.
100%.
I love this.
Maybe it was a Florida thing because Matt and I are both products of the Florida school system.
Okay.
Maybe it might have been a Florida thing, but I think it should be something. I think they need to have this. Get people like us, our age.
Yes.
Have a book club where you get something.
I had a teacher who was great about it because she would make us all read the books in the class, and then she would put the stars on there. But she made sure we all knocked out the 6 within like a week or two. So we would just keep going and going and going. But it got us reading. We would read the things.
And that was the key to it.
All right, well, let's check in with James and get his take on this. Grandma hobbies. James, what do you think?
Grandma hobbies?
Yeah.
I'm lost with that. Grandma hobbies.
Like knitting.
Like knitting, crocheting.
What we've been talking about for the past
Yeah,
5 minutes, that stuff.
My grandmama was different, man. She used to, she taught me how to shoot dice. So, mine was different.
She taught hobby. Smack across the head and everything, that sort of thing.
James's grandmother
Hit the
taught him
7, baby.
gambling.
7-11. 7-11.
7-11. All right.
It used to be 7-11, now it's 6-7.
I'm glad you joined us on the show, James.
Thanks. Yeah, James, thanks for joining us. Yeah.
You're 100 yards away and you can't pay attention.
And by the way, when we went to him, he was
I'm
just
listening.
Oh, you are? Okay, Jay. Even still, it's good. That I wonder if there's a connection with the Gen Z and their grandparents, and I wonder if there's something there.
I could see that.
It's Generation X is going to be your grandparents, or Generation Z,
gosh.
right? That's that one
Yeah,
generation.
I guess.
Or maybe parents. I don't know.
Yeah.
But even still, like the older generation. And looking back on that, it's fascinating. There's still videos of people, kids looking at rotary phones and thinking. And what's interesting about it is they don't know how to do it, but they think it's cool.
Yeah.
And I know we sound really old sounding like this and that sort of thing, but we love the fact that they're getting into what we grew up with.
Yeah, of course.
And it seems like we lost it with the millennials. Nothing against the millennials, but it's nice to see them coming back.
No, it's funny that you mentioned the rotary phone because I remember having a party and I have that old style phone that actually works. You plug it in, you can dial it. When landlines used to be popular and I had one, had a party and this lady brought her nieces with her and they had no idea what they were looking at.
Funny,
She's
right?
like, that's a phone. They're like, what do you mean that? There's no way that's a phone. They picked it up and they were I swear to God, they called everybody they knew. And they were like, this is insane that they had to dial each number, with the rotary.
It was our airplane phones. Like, the first line when you
That's
call
true.
somebody from your airplane is, you'll never guess where I'm calling you from.
from.
I'm sure with the rotary phone they did
I'm just excited to hear that they're finally taking a break from these things, and I think it's
It really is
important
nice.
to get away from screen time and actually have real time.
And again, reiterating how promising that is,
Yeah.
that we can get back to those sort of
For
things.
them, it's finding something new because they've also
a
grown
good
up with
point.
these in their hands
That's
since
true.
they were able. I mean, I've got nephews that are flying through the phones. For them, they're like bored with it. They want something else because by the time they're like 15, 16, they're like, I've done everything on this.
Well, and do you find you're bored with social media?
Yes.
I'm so bored.
It's the same stuff over and over, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't care.
When the next thing comes along, which right now is Sora,
Which
that's
Mitch is
the next
obsessed
thing.
with.
I'm going crazy on it, and I'll get bored of it. I can already
You will,
tell I'm
yeah.
but it's fun. I get that. No matter what, though, it is a great way for generations to kind of bond together.
together,
And
yeah.
I'm loving hearing this.
Yeah,
What do you think?
sure.
What is something you've picked up that maybe your grandparents or maybe the older generation has done and that we didn't mention?
Or a great hobby that
A great
you're-
hobby, 100%.
Yeah.
Drop us a note. You can go to our website at dailyflashshow.com and send us an email. James will answer it if you're on social media.
if he's paying attention.
If he's paying
Yeah.
attention.
What? I am paying attention.
No,
What
on
are you
social
talking
media.
about?
We're giving you our
32% are signed up for craft classes, believe it or not.
Love that.
So if you're signed up for one, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Check this out. Scientists in China have developed a revolutionary new bone glue that can heal fractures. It was developed to fix bone breaks that would generally require surgery and months of recovery. The glue treatment comes in the form of a single injection and will bond shattered bone fragments in just 3 minutes. Unlike ordinary glues, this bioglue comes from oysters. Scientists say the substance has a bonding force of up to 400 pounds. I've always thought that there is a cure for everything in nature. It's just
There is.
finding it.
You're 100% right. And we're getting closer to these Star Trek days when you're talking about a glue that can put bones back together, which is really neat. But can we pop that picture up right there? At first, I thought this was a turkey.
It looks like a
And I
chicken.
thought, can we look? This is what we're talking about. I thought there was a turkey. What is that? Some kind of organ of something that they had to give a demonstration
It
of.
looks like a chicken to me. I'm with you on the poultry part of it. I have no idea what that is.
Let me tell you, I can't tell you how many chickens I've had that are broken, and I have to glue.
And then you have to glue them back together?
And then you have,
The rubber chickens.
After I eat it, yeah.
Tastes like Elmer's.
Oh, yeah. And which is a cow, which is interesting.
My concern was if I were to use that, I had a bone, I shattered my bone, like would all the bones go back in the right spot? Or would they just kind of meld together?
Or will our parents know that we broke it like the vase and we tried to glue back together? It's neat to see this. It'd be interesting to see how they actually apply it. I imagine they'd have to cut the skin to get to the bone to do it. But even still, that kind of technology is incredible. We love that. Really cool stuff. And we still have cool stuff to come here on the show.
Yes, we do. And the kitchen chef, Rich, is joining us with some healthy kitchen cooking. It's wonderful. You got to check out this recipe.
And of course, we'll be checking in with Doreen with Scene with Doreen. She's coming up a little bit later on this hour. And we'll give you a little bit of relationship refresh. Some ideas on how to make your relationship that much better. Stick around. You're watching Daily Flash. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch and AJ in the Daily Flash kitchen.
And we are so excited to have our next guest here with us. Joining us is Chef Rich. Not only is he a former U.S. Marine, he is the host of One Plate Kitchen, a national healthy cooking show on the TCT network. He is also the founder of a culinary health and wellness program, One Plate, One Health.
Welcome, Chef. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Man, when you're in the kitchen, it smells so good. And, a true chef, first off, is really an artist, wouldn't you agree? Because you find the palettes and things that go great with other things. You've got a great setup here for us. I want to find out a little bit more about you. How long have you been cooking? How long have you been in the kitchen? And, why did you kind of go the route of staying healthy and healthy cooking?
So after college, I went to the Marine Corps. So I did my thing in the Marine Corps. I found out that wasn't like a full-time gig right there.
Okay, sure.
So then I went to college and I went to culinary school, CIA. And I fell in love with it.
Wow.
And from there, I started just dabbling and working in different kitchens. And then I was an instructor at Le Cordon Bleu.
Oh my gosh.
So I taught there for a number of years. And they actually were offering free education. So obviously I jumped all over that.
I would have done it, yeah.
Yeah, so I got my free education. And I really geared my master's degree in education to food and health. And what I saw was, wow, I could really help out a lot of people. So then I started doing just kitchen demos all over the place and just kind of seeing where I could help. And we found out there was three things. The most excuses we heard was, I don't have time.
Yeah.
Eating healthy is too expensive.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do when I go to the grocery store. I don't know what I'm looking for.
That is true too.
So we really geared everything around there. And we saw, we really can help.
It seems like it could kind of start with staples in the kitchen. It seems like if you have a good start of healthier stuff, then you're obviously be able to cook it. Are there some things that people should have always in their kitchen when they're thinking about healthy cooking?
And this is one of the things we get all the time is, what I really want you to do is have real food. Like we do, like grocery store tours.
Okay.
Stay around the outside of the perimeter. That's where
Great
you
idea.
Always say that.
You're right, yeah.
You stay around there and have those as your staples. Don't go into the middle aisles for things because those are the things that chemicals, preservatives, and things that you want to stay away from.
That's actually a very easy thing to remember, especially when you're going grocery store, because I'm always
stay on the outside perimeter.
I like that idea.
What led you to start the company, One Plate, One Health?
It was just I knew I could help. And right now, I think as a country, obesity in adults has doubled, and obesity in children has tripled. So something has to happen. And the more I talk to people, the more I found out they don't know how to cook.
Yeah.
Most people don't know how to cook, and what they do is either in the microwave or like doing a drive-through.
Whatever's easy.
Poison. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we show you that these things are so easy to make. I can get you in and out of the kitchen within 15 minutes, making an amazing meal.
Okay,
And
this looks great.
And before we jump into that, I want to add on to that. Not only that, you feel better.
Yes.
And maybe that's why we're in the state that we are in this country, of everybody fighting each other. And if you feel better because you eat better, it's just like the gas in your car. Better food, you're going to feel better. Am I right?
Yeah. We always say nutrition is like the roots of a tree. Like poor nutrition, you never know how much it affects different areas.
Oh, that's a great analogy. Yeah.
Up front, it looks great.
Yeah, that's
but
good.
all you're down underneath your real roots, how things work. Poor nutrition really has an impact on every part of your life.
100%.
Emotionally, physically, mentally. It really has an
So it's
impact.
easy to cook healthy is what you're telling
Super
me.
easy.
All right, so
Super easy.
we're going to put you to the test here. What do we got going on right now?
So this is the most simplest thing you can make. What we did is we just took a sweet potato.
It looks amazing.
Cut it in little thirds, and then we just threw a little bit of my 1 plate herb salt in there, which I love more than anything in this world. And then we just roasted it off, 350 degrees for 45, 30 minutes. take it out, and then you can just decorate it however you want, just like making a cookie.
I love the colors. of
Yes,
this.
I do too.
Let's
this
make
is
one of
perfect.
these.
And you'll see how it's just like making a cookie. If you made a cookie, you can make this.
Okay,
easy.
so
Okay.
now what's in this?
So in there is just hummus.
Hummus. Okay.
So you can just pipe that out however you want. And this is a great thing.
little
What we saw
swirly.
with kids
That's
is
what I'm
kids
saying.
are more apt to try it if they have their hands in there.
And they created it, and they're like, all right, this is what I want to
And
do.
they're like, oh, we should add this, we should add that. I'm like, that's a great idea. Add this color, add that color. And we try to cook with as much color as possible.
And you
think
say,
that's
Mom, I
so
want more
important.
tomatoes. They
Yeah.
can, right?
Okay, so what else? So
So now we have some
pomegranates?
pomegranate seeds.
Okay.
You can just sprinkle that on
Okay, I'm
however
just
you
gonna-
want.
Pomegranate and sweet potato, I would never
No,
have
me
thought to
neither,
put the
but
two
I
together.
love
And it's
the-
like a sweet and savory
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And we have some tomatoes. Let's get the tomatoes on first.
Oh, tomatoes. Yeah.
Yeah, we have the
But there is no wrong way to make this.
There is none.
But for,
None.
for our demonstration, there is.
Okay. I love the
Jackson,
yellow.
you're doing really well with
I'm
this.
You're doing good. It
trying.
looks great.
I'm
And you see
trying.
how easy it is to make.
Oh, it's-
and
yeah,
kids would love to get their hands in there, dig around, and do all kinds of
Okay,
stuff. with
and
it.
then garnish.
Yep,
and
then
then
a little a salad in there.
salad. And then what is this?
And then that's our one plate herb salt. So what I did is I tried to make a mix that I know everyone would love. And that's a little bit healthier than normal salt. So
Yeah.
what we did is we take our our blend of
Yes.
herbs that we have, our special herbs that we have, and we mix it together and we put it with salt. And then what you do is when you put this on everything, it has a different flavor reaction with everything you use.
Really?
So whether you're using chicken, it's going to taste one way. If I'm using
yeah.
fish, it's going to taste another way. If I'm using vegetables, it's going to have a reaction and have a different flavor profile with that way.
And there's 11 herbs and spices in here. Is that your secret recipe?
It's in Fort Knox, guarded. You can't get it.
I
All
love
right.
it.
It smells delicious
Yeah.
too. So if it smells, and you just
You have to sprinkle
Just
it on
sprinkle
there,
it on.
and a little bit goes a long way.
Oh,
People are like shocked how much,
beautiful.
how little they have to use, to really get that flavor. And then we have a little bit of balsamic that
Okay.
will just drizzle
right here.
all over
All
there.
right.
And again, there's no way of messing this up. You just drizzle it wherever you want.
this, what you're making too, and talking about kids, they're they can eat it with their hands too.
Yeah.
I would imagine you welcome. It's theirs. They're allowed to do it. And it's if they take ownership of it, and ownership of their health, it sounds like, is actually going to get them to be
Yeah.
healthy adults.
Yeah, absolutely. This is great.
One of
Okay.
the things we've seen is, as parents, we're kind of taking our kids to like bad health land, by going to fast food. And
Because
eating
it's
all these
convenient.
places. Yep.
Yeah, that
And I
is
can
so
tell you,
true.
this is so easy to do. And then once kids get involved, they will actually ask for this.
Well, I think you roast a
Can
few
we
of
make
those
it?
those sweet potatoes, right? You get that done, and then it's even easier because then you just have to bring them out
That
and warm
hummus-
them up and.
Hummus
Yeah,
works great
it's
with
good.
this. Thank you so
Chef
much, Chef.
Rich,
Thank you so much for having me. It's an
All
honor
right.
to be here.
For more information on this recipe or anything
Hmm.
about Chef Rich, please visit 1pl8.com. That's 1pl8.com,
Like plate.
1plate.com. Thank you so much, Chef.
Thank you for having me.
That's
I
great.
appreciate it.
All right,
We'll
more
be sure
flash.
to post this on our website, dailyflashshow.com. Bon appetit.
Delicious.
Something funny is going on, and it's happening every morning on Broadway and Friends on great radio stations all across the U.S. of A. Broadway, T-Wall, Mitch Pancake English, and Sweet Becca. Broadway and Friends, 4 mics, 0 filters, and more opinions than your Aunt Cheryl's Facebook feed. Broadway and Friends. Want to join the madness? Hit up BroadwayandFriends.com.
Spell out the word and
jump into the deep end, blasting for the back road to the big leagues. Broadway and Friends. The most fun you can have with your radio on.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson along with Mitch English. Time for a little relationship refresh.
Love that. Yes, like it or not, you are in some kind of relationship right now, and we found a few things that actually can make that relationship or any relationship, well, better. So let's kick things off. Jackson.
Okay, check this out. A recent study from the University of Reading found that couples who comfortably share silent moments together often enjoy stronger emotional intimacy. The research suggests that being able to just be together without the pressure to talk signals a deep connection instead of anything awkward. Rather than filling the air with constant chatter, these couples simply exist side by side and build trust in that ease.
So, which I can't stand silence.
Really?
I feel like there has to be something going on. But when I find myself in a position where it's really quiet, I realize I feel different about myself. Now, if I had the person that I love, I had lives in that same room, and she's quiet, and she's enjoying the moment. It's the space, and you look at it, and you're like, okay, that's the relationship we have. We're not. We're okay with not talking, and it's almost like what, in fact, you just did, finishing sentences, knowing what I'm talking about. I think you need those silent things to help you when you actually are talking. I love that. Research published in Fortune magazine found that couples who see their world similarly actually share values, perceptions, and meaning. They also report a higher life satisfaction and better relationship health. And it turns out alignment actually does matter. When partners interpret life events in comparable ways, they feel that they're more united rather than divided. That means basically you don't need to love the same movies, but seeing the same movie of life actually helps. So
Agreed.
Experiencing things.
Yeah.
Researchers say that it's less about finishing each other's sentences and it's more about seeing life through the same lens. And I think once you do that, you wind up, because you and I think we see a lot of things the same way, we finish each other's sentences and sandwiches as well.
And sandwiches. I think what's interesting is about this is, we've always heard, well, opposites attract to a certain degree, and you may be opposite in certain things, but I do think there has to be some common thread that you share between the two of you, that you both sort of come from, the same perspective or similar.
I think it's important too, because then you have a baseline and then you can see different sides of somebody, but you know that, hey, look, well, this person, the core of what they believe, we have the same thing.
Right.
And then that makes you a better person. Just opening up, taking those blinders off and just listening.
And I think when you have that established and you're both comfortable that you kind of are cut from the same cloth when it comes to that sort of perspective, then I think it makes everything else a little easier. Right?
100%, because the little things are not going to matter anymore, because you're like, all right, I know why she did that. And it's just like even workplaces. If you think about it, it's like, okay, I understand why they did this, and it's small things. But if you all have a common goal, you'll get through it.
Definitely. Finally, a 2025 report found that couples who met through friends or social circles are about 30% more likely to remain together long term compared to those who met online or in more transient ways. Part of that may be trust, shared networks, maybe a slower buildup rather than a swipe fast romance. So while online dating works, the friends introduced route still holds surprising relationship longevity.
I've never had anybody that I ever dated. It was a friend thing, so I can't speak of this. And I know that you and Alan worked together.
Yeah, we worked together. Yeah. However, we were friends first. I'll say that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we were friends first. Yeah.
And I think because your friends see stuff you don't, and it's like, God, you have the same personality as Alan. You have the same personality as Liza. You guys would be great together. They see something that you might not.
True.
And because we judge, and so I could see how that would lend itself into, hey, this is a great relationship. But on top of that, I think it's more, you don't want to disappoint your friends if you break up.
The pressure of the friend group.
Yeah.
I think that's a real thing.
And maybe that might not be a bad thing, because it's like, instead of just like breaking up and you're like, oh, wait a minute, all these other people saw something that maybe I'm not seeing. It kind of gives you a little bit of safety net, I would imagine.
However, I sometimes that can be misleading, because you might seem to appear perfect for someone else or a good match, and you get together and maybe there's no spark there. I mean, that happens to all of us, you know. And so you think on paper this looks fantastic, but in reality, not so much.
And then you find people that meet somebody and a week later they're married. And they're married for 70, 80 years.
Yeah.
And I think I've talked to some older people, and they say it's that, number one, they just took divorce off the table, or breaking up is that, okay, there was a reason, and they kind of held on to those things. Like I was saying earlier, they held on to that thing, all right, and that kind of at least held you there, and then you say, all right, let's work around that problem that they might have. I don't know. I mean, we would love to hear your thoughts on this.
Definitely.
Matter of fact, we could share it on the air if you drop us an email, dailyflashshow.com.
All right, stay with us. More coming up.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mitch English.
And I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, today's trends, tomorrow's top. Welcome to the show. And we want to welcome our many affiliates across the nation. Matt Doolittle, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, 219 great affiliates across the country, including on the Armed Forces Network, which is all over the world. But also make sure you go to our website, dailyflashshow.com, hit that Where to Watch tab, and you can tell your friends where to find us. And today we're finding our friends friends at KMOL in Victoria, Texas, also known as the Crossroads of South Texas.
Very cool. I had a friend that lived in Victoria, Texas, so really cool there. Yeah, I never visited him. I just knew he lived there. So that's all I can tell you about Victoria.
So is he
I
an
know stuff about-
ex-friend now?
I don't like him anymore. He wouldn't tell me exactly where he lived, and so
Yeah.
I said, we're done.
Just that he lived in Victoria.
I didn't invite him to our Thanksgiving dinner, and you might want to make your Thanksgiving dinner list a little bit smaller. We got some problems coming up for
no,
Thanksgiving.
don't tell
believe it
me.
or not. Looks like we're going to have the nation's smallest turkey flock in 40 years, believe it or not.
Really?
Well, the bird flu issues that we had, you probably forgot about that, as well as lower production, is bringing the price up of your holiday bird. And it's gone up 40%, which is pretty significant. And there is some good news. I mean, don't worry, you're going to find a turkey, no matter what.
Yeah, you always do.
What is you're going to have an issue with is finding fresh or maybe specific size turkeys as well. They're saying that it's the lowest that we've seen in the past 40 years. And right now, wholesale turkey prices, they've jumped from 94 cents, what we used to pay, up to $1.32 per pound. And if you want to put that as far as pounds go, production dropped 5% to 4.8 billion pounds. Here's the thing, maybe we need to go to smaller turkeys. I got to tell you, at the end of every Thanksgiving, I always have leftover turkey.
It's always that Tupperware to go or the sandwiches later on. It's always
Sandwiches
that.
for us.
yeah, the hot turkey sandwiches after.
And you can, and then, not only that, turkey cereal, turkey for lunch,
turkey
everywhere.
tacos, turkey.
And maybe it's always nice, and we are a nation of go big. Excess, right? And so you want the bigger bird. It's also when I used to be the guy that would make Thanksgiving. I love cooking, and I love Thanksgiving was my holiday, but I deep fried it. So if you're going to deep fry, don't go big unless it fits inside that
the deep fryer.
Yeah, and guess who got too big of a turkey
you
one
did,
year because I wanted the biggest one.
Of course.
So keep that in mind.
I gotta tell you, I'm not I don't care for the turkey. Like yeah, I mean, I'm okay if, and it's like the bones and it's just such a mess, and it's like hard to get to, and I never feel like it's that satisfying.
It's one of those where, and I can eat turkey sandwiches all the time, but it's like you're sitting down and you have turkey. For some reason, we have to do that.
Yeah.
My favorite, and you can probably ask my kids this, my first Thanksgiving I had custody of our kids. And I said, you know what? Did you see that movie Signs? With Mel Gibson? He made a big thing. Whatever you want.
Whatever you want,
They had Chinese pizza.
Yeah.
And we did that. And my kids, hey, can we just do what we did last year? I was like, no, I want to make a turkey. I was baking. I made a pizza. I had a small little turkey because Sawyer wanted one. And then I made rolls.
Blue mashed potatoes?
That would have been a good idea. And then we had pizza and a steak. I'm sorry, Sawyer wanted a steak. I remember that. And so I made him a steak. And it was fun. And I got to do what I wanted to do. So it might be something, if you're not wanting to get the turkey, ask the kids, maybe do something different. A Friendsgiving might even do that. Do you go out on Thanksgiving?
Yes,
Where
sometimes
are you at?
we do. Sometimes we'll order pre-made food because it just makes it easier.
So
So
much.
then it's, and especially it's just usually the two of us. But that makes it easier. There's less cleanup. There's less waste. We've cooked the whole turkey before, and it's fun, like the whole process of it. But it's such a big mess to clean up.
Do they let you undo your belt in the room?
They
do at the
do,
restaurant?
yeah, they do.
Matt,
I wear
are
the
you-
buffet pants,
Oh,
so
okay,
it'll stretchy.
smart.
Yeah.
The polyester.
We used to have a big family buffet when everybody was kind of around and everything at my uncle's house in Daytona. But as the family's gotten a little smaller, and everything, I mean, one year we went to Golden Corral and it was perfectly fine.
See?
I had no problem with Golden
Those are
Corral.
fun.
Was that pre-pandemic? Was that pre-pandemic?
It was right after the pandemic, but on the way out, there was an ambulance waiting for somebody. It wasn't our group. It wasn't our group, but there was an ambulance.
It ain't a Golden Corral till an ambulance is called.
Before the lawyers get involved.
When you take the turkey leg and
nothing
put
to
it
say,
under
but-
the chocolate fountain, I mean,
Don't
come
do
on.
that.
Like,
Don't do that.
We're going to be talking about who is the most banned author in America. Get your guesses in. We'll tell you who it is.
Special Halloween episode today on The Scene with Doreen, and I sit down with Halloween's Michael Kiske. They have a new album out, and I can't wait to dig in. Check it out. 40 years ago, 1984, Halloween was born in Hamburg, Germany, and the rest was history.
I wasn't right there from the start.
We're almost 1986.
That's true. Oh, you're right. They started in, I think, 84.
Mm-hmm.
But just with Kai, the guitar player, he was also doing the vocals, and then they realized he wouldn't be able to sing more than 3 shows, and then his voice was gone, so they were looking for a singer.
Okay, so tell me, is the Halloween holiday as popular in Europe as it is in America?
Now it is. It was nothing when, I mean, we probably would not have even, they would have probably not even chosen the name if it would have been. Mm-hmm. But in those days, nobody knew what it was. So it was kind of cool to have the pumpkins and they changed the A to the E, not to be satanic or anything like that, but to not be mistaken for the movie, for instance. And,
right.
That's why they changed the A to the E. But no, it was not known. Today it is. I mean, today the kiddies walk around trick-or-treating.
Congrats on the new album, Giants and Monsters. I especially love your single, Universe, Gravity for Hearts. Again, your signature soaring vocals take center stage.
Yeah, it's the first time that I heard a final mix, actually. It was written by Sasha, the guitar player.
Yes.
And I think he was intentionally like grabbing into the pool of the classic Halloween elements, and he just wanted to write a Halloween song for sure. I mean, and he did it very well.
It's a nice, paying homage to the earlier years to hear that kind of throwback, but it's still modern, fresh, and crisp.
Yeah. And even Waiki, he had written some songs where the demos were kind of rough, and I wasn't sure where it is going to go. I didn't necessarily understand what he was trying to say with the song, but then the producers took it over and worked things out, and more it unfolded, and then we were really excited how cool the songs really were in the end.
Halloween is still one of the top metal bands of all time, selling out shows globally and still putting out great innovative music. What do you think is the secret sauce that keeps Halloween thriving after all these years?
If you stay true to yourself, which is always something the individual has to do, but you are an individual in the band, and if everybody or the majority of people stay true to themselves, or if they get off track for a while, they find their ways back, that's the secret. I'm totally convinced that that's the secret of anything that has magic. It doesn't matter the type of music. You know, I'm not a metalhead per se. I listen to a lot of different types of music, but what always matters is the soul, the heart. That's what gives the magic. So far, we have never lost our heart. We've just never lost our soul. And I think if there is a secret, that's what it is.
Visit Halloween.org to get the new album, Giants and Monsters, available everywhere now. Check out tour dates for Halloween's upcoming 40th anniversary global tour, and just stay connected to everything that is Michael Kiske and Halloween.
Thank you. Thanks for your interest. It was a good interview.
Halloween is a time for trick or treats, and it was a treat to talk to Michael today. If you want to hear more of our wonderful conversation, visit here. I'm Doreen Taylor with the Scene with Doreen here at the Daily Flash each week. See you next time.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Let's talk about some trending stories. There's a new report out on book bans in the United States and in schools specifically. And it finds that Stephen King is one of the authors most likely to be censored.
Oh, wow.
Some 80% of those banned originated in just 3 states that have enacted or attempted to enact laws calling for the removal of books deemed objectionable. Florida, Texas, Tennessee, those are the states. King's books were censored 206 times, with Carrie and The Stand among the 87 of his works affected. They're all going to laugh at you. Reasons often cited for pulling a book include adult content, violence, and overtly sexual themes. And, you know, if you look back, books that are what some call classics, you know, I think of Mice and Men. I mean, the guy does kill somebody in it, you know. But it teaches a good story. I think Huckleberry Finn, the words used in that talking about Jim and that sort of thing.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Kill a Mockingbird,
That's
right?
another classic. You know, I think with his specific big books, though, it's like horror and violence and
more contemporary,
and more, you know, maybe there's some adult sexual themes in there that aren't appropriate for kids. That being said, kids will be kids. If you want to get the book, you'll find a way to get a hold of it.
Can I tell you, he's wearing that as a badge of honor.
Of course
you
he
want
is.
to be the most banned because that's first A, free advertising, and C,
Yes.
you can't get it at the library at school. You're gonna have to go buy one or go to the public library and get it. So that makes a lot of sense.
And I'm okay with these schools actually taking a little bit more responsibility with what they're offering the kids. And then, you know, if your parents allow you to read that at home, fantastic.
Yeah, and again, and you'll have parents who'll say, you know, you can't ban books. Well, have a good reason, number one, if you're banning it. But number two is that, okay, they have to think of overall. Just because you believe that way, maybe the majority might not. So you have to remember that.
Well, TikTok's algorithm not only allows children to access adult content, speaking of, experts say it's been actively pushing it on them.
That's wild.
Yeah, this is concerning. Accounts created by researchers posing as 13-year-olds quickly received recommendations for sexually explicit search suggestions, despite having safety settings for minors turned on.
Wow.
The group found that pornographic content had been edited into innocent videos to skirt around TikTok's safety rules, and TikTok claims it removes 9 out of the 10 videos that violate its community guidelines, including bans on nudity and sex before they are ever viewed.
I can't confirm this, and maybe if you've heard this, let me know. But you know, these social media sites, they have people that have to go look through things that are uploaded, and they say that would have to be, to me, one of the worst jobs in the world, because you know there's sickos that are but there's things I don't want to ever see in my life, and they get paid, they have to see to protect many others.
Yeah.
And we can't blame TikTok completely for this, because, as Andrea had mentioned, is that they try to skirt around the rules and they try to catch them, but they're always, again,
10
which
steps
tells
ahead.
you, 100%, and it goes back, again, they need to be getting back into them books instead of reading on TikTok.
Well, the problem that I have, and we've talked about this on the show before, is that in China, where TikTok originated from, China's TikTok is all history and educational. That is all that they allow on their TikTok channel in China. What do we allow on ours?
Anything.
Anything. What do they allow on our TikTok stream? What does China allow on the American? You know, Tide Pod challenges, idiocracy crap, you know, that all these kids are exposed to.
And you can't help but think that China, which, by the way, we keep on forgetting that China's been around for centuries and centuries and not decades, right?
Right.
So they've gone through stuff that they can contribute to the moral decay of America, if you think about it.
As a means of battle,
without
firing a single weapon.
All within. So I know we're gonna, you know, but you have to keep that in mind when you're on TikTok. I wish people would think that, like, look how funny this is. But keep in mind what you're doing. Right. I'm not saying don't do it. We're not fuddy-duddies.
No, but there is a bigger...
It's called a spade, right?
Yeah, there's a bigger picture for sure when it comes to that.
Rite Aid, you've heard of them. They're one of America's biggest pharmacy chains. They used to be. Yeah, well, they're closing its remaining 89 stores. They're filing for bankruptcy. So if you got a prescription there, you might want to check in on that. The company's website remains available for customers to request pharmacy records or to locate another nearby pharmacy to fulfill those prescriptions. Rite Aid emerged from bankruptcy back in September of 2024. But in the end, that wasn't enough. The drugstore announced that it may actually sold most of its pharmacy services to CVS, Walgreens, Albertsons, even Kroger, of course, their competition. So all kinds of stuff. Maybe the ice cream.
Well, Rite Aid used to be a thrifty drugstore.
I can't remember Thrifty.
Right, and Thrifty used to have this classic ice cream scoop where it looked like a puck. Like when they scooped the ice cream, it was a puck shape. Anyway, that's what they were famous for. So I think Rite Aid ended up keeping the Thrifty ice cream as a
and we think of the drugstore of old. I mean, they had those sodas and everything, and ice cream and that sort of thing. So that was that one last thing. I guess they wanted to hold on.
I can't help but to think, with so much of the shoplifting and everything that happens in California and on the West Coast, where Rite Aid is primarily very popular, that, businesses can only take so much of that to a point where they were locking everything up. And then people are like, I'm not going to shop there. I can't shop there. So I don't know how much of that played into this, but I'm sure it was a part.
Do you remember, I imagine it was about 10, maybe 15 years ago, but one of the stores, either CVS or Walgreens, they had a big push to open up stores. And you would go to see a Walgreens on one. They were looking out for where each other were, and they were across the street from the other in so many different places. And it was like a duel of who's going to last. And sure enough, there can only be one pharmacy, and you don't see that anymore. And all that money gone. But again, you're talking about drugs. There's a lot of money in that altogether.
And all the grocery stores are now in
that's a good point.
in business for it. A dad of 5 had a tumor the size of a kiwi removed from his brain while he was awake.
What?
He played the guitar during the entire operation. 44-year-old Paul Welsh Dalton suffered with headaches. That's when doctors discovered a rare type of brain tumor. During the 5-hour procedure, surgeons removed 98% of the tumor, with Paul playing music on his guitar while they did it. It allowed the surgeons to make sure Paul's brain was not being affected by the removal process. Despite the stage 3 tumor's terminal status, Paul has been given more time thanks to the operation.
I'd love to hear that. I mean, I've heard of when you have brain surgery, which you think out of everything, what is the one operation you want to sleep through? Anybody mess with your brain?
Yes.
But you can't.
And crazy. That's awful to think about that.
Psychologically, I don't think I could ever have that operation.
I don't know.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it seems like there has to be, I know they give you sedatives before to kind of calm you down, but I would have to go through some kind of psychological trial or work through in order to be prepared just to have that, because knowing what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And they say that they can, some doctors will put it on the brain, their legs will kick up,
Could you imagine?
Can you, right?
Yeah.
How freaky that would be.
Well, and it's just the specialty of being a brain surgeon and having that knowledge and knowing how to perform that kind of operation is just insane.
Delivering today's trends and tomorrow's talk, is that brain surgery for you? No,
It can
but
be
it's
for us
fun. But
sometimes.
for us, it is a big deal. And we're wide awake.
Hey, Mitchie.
Hey, Jackson.
Yeah, I want to talk about that big story coming out of
Oh,
Hollywood.
hold on. Wait. I want to get Matt in on this call, all right? Hold on.
Hey, what's up, Mitch and Dias?
Matty!
Mitchie.
Mateus.
Mitch, my man.
Matty of Berkshire.
What's going on?
Hey, AJ wants us to talk about a big story that's happening.
This kid, the Kiki, says hi. He has his own Instagram.
That's great, Matt, but I really want to talk about this big story coming out of Hollywood.
Oh, dog and cat, it's
You should check it out. This kid, the Kiki.
I want to know what's going on with
What?
Oh, okay, so real quick. Why does he still have a dial-up modem?
Hey, I gotta get back to wrestling stuff.
It's on the media.
You know what? Maybe we should just try this later.
Okay, all right. Peace and love.
Daily Flash.
Where are you?
It's just better when you're part of the conversation. Join us online.
Hey guys, so if you're a huge fan of Bar Rescue, which it's on repeat all the time, it seems on Paramount Plus, Jon Taffer, the guy that goes into the bar, yells at everybody, tells them everything's dirty and it's bad. Well, he's actually a super nice guy, and he just opened up a Taffer's Tavern here in Orlando, where we broadcast from. They're nationwide, but he just opened the first one in Florida, and we got the chance to go out and experience it for the grand opening. Taffer's Tavern, it's its own creation, its own brand, its vision. It's the very first one here in Florida, like I said. It's got a kitchen feature to it, but some more like bar food stuff, but the drinks are absolutely amazing. He's got his signature cocktails up there. Nice guy. The screaming and yelling you see on those shows is nuts. That's James Alexander, Sweet Baby James's son, Sean, John sat and talked to him for a good 10 minutes about.
Why are you taking kids to bars?
He wanted to go.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
We had to get special clearance to bring
Why
him.
the hell are we taking kids to bars? What the hell? Who? That's James's kid?
That's James. This is Sweet Baby James's kid.
Did he sign a waiver?
I held that kid as a baby.
I know.
And so y'all are taking it. You do not listen.
I grew up in a bar and I turned out fine.
Little big man. Do not follow that man's footsteps. Go ahead.
But John was awesome. He spent a lot of time with us just chatting about the business and where the show's going. The restaurant's great. So yeah, definitely everybody go check it out when a Taffer's Tavern shows up in your town.
That's great. When you've done this show as long as you and I have, it's all of a sudden everybody becomes your kid.
Yeah,
right?
100%. I did.
I was your intern.
Pop that up real quick. This is James's son, and I held this as a baby.
I remember.
And now
he's hanging out in the
bar. What the hell's wrong with you, kid?
Not right.
Y'all take care. See you when we look at you.